Okay kids, today on the bench we're working on a vintage AR XA turntable, what they call the universal model. It does 115 or 230 volts. There's a switch right on the front for it. So anyway, yeah, this was brought in, we got this in last night. Got it already broken down today. Done a lot of the initial cleanup work. You can see the top plate there has all been sanded. That's ready to go to paint. Cleaned up a lot of the tone arm. Got the electronics out. Been soaking the plinth in some orange oil, trying to bring it back to life. This thing was full of like rat shit and looked like it had been sitting in the barn for about 50 years. So right now we're just in the process of just trying to slowly get everything cleaned up and try to bring this thing back to life a little bit at a time here. So this will be a little bit of a project, and we'll follow along with this, as I redo this. We're going to try to restore this as much as possible. It needs a stylus for one. Stylus is toast. The tone arm stand is missing. Got to do something about that. The wiring is a little iffy. Been some weird stuff with the power switch done. Says there's a problem, it doesn't want to run. I don't know. I'll cross all that. Once I start putting this all back together, I'll figure out what's actually wrong with the electronics and the mechanism. Right now, it's just being stripped down and cleaned and prepped to be redone. So anyway, that's it for right now. I'll be back as I get this thing into the next stage of, semi-assembly. Like I said, I'm going to go and paint that top plate. Once I paint that and that dries, then we can kind of start working on getting everything back together. And while I'm waiting for that to set up, I'll do a little bit more woodwork on this, get that cleaned up a little bit more. It's really hot here where I'm at today. It's about 103. So I kind of sprayed this down outside with orange oil numerous times and let it just soak in. I haven't really tried to do any cleaning or light sanding or anything. I'm just trying to moisten the wood and bring the wood back to life, and then we'll deal with that. And it does have the bottom, does have all the original stickers and whatnot, nomenclature. The bottom panel is a little bit bowed. I'm going to try to put some weight on the back side of that and see if I can't flatten that out a little bit. The bottom is a little bit worse for wear, but anyway, it is what it is. You don't see many AR turntables out there floating around. That's for sure. There's a hell of a lot of other brands that normally make it on my bench. So yeah, this will be an interesting little project. So anyway, I'm out, kids. I'll see you on the next part of the video. Okay, so I'm going to pop back in on the AR turntable that I'm working on. Today I wet sanded the top plate and shot another coat of black on that. Did some more work on the plinth, did some sanding and some more oil work on the plinth. Checked the capacitors on this control board. They're all bad, so I got to order replacements for that. I did go ahead and lube the motor. That's done. Cleaned the selector switch here. Okay, that's a voltage selector switch. And then let's see, what else did we get done today? I got successfully, thank God, I got the plastic piece out of the end of the tone arm. So I've ordered a tone arm wire replacement kit. I'm going to rewire the tone arm. I'm going to retrofit a different, more than likely, I'm saying I'm going to, but more than likely I'm going to retrofit a different cartridge and stylus in this head shell, because upon disassembly, this holder broke. I don't know, I may be able to super glue it back together. I don't know. If I can't glue that back together, I'm going to retrofit something else in there. I've got a parts donor. I think I can use the parts, so I'm going to get that going. So it's going to be an expensive rebuild for this one, so I'm trying to save this guy a little bit of money. So anyway, yeah, that was a good deal getting that out without breaking that. That would have just been more money. So yeah, all the tone arm parts, all the metal parts are all broken down. I got them running a cycle in the ultrasonic cleaner right now. So yeah, that was about it for today on the AR. So once I get some more work on that done, right now, like I said, I'm trying to source what parts I need and trying to decide what I have here and what I don't. But yeah, that's about as far as I've gotten on that today. So anyway, yeah, I'll break back in on that once I've got some more going on that. Okay, so I thought I would just kind of pop back in, doing some work on the AR plinth. What I've done is I went around and this thing uses a lot of little L brackets to hold the top plate in place. So I went around and tightened all those little brackets because they were all loose. So I tightened those brackets, and then I went around and I re-glued the hell out of all of the corner bracing and put some glue around the little brackets so that glue will soak in around the screw and hopefully into the wood so those things don't loosen up in the future. But yeah, I just went around and I just soaked the hell out of all the corner bracing. This plinth still has really nice tight corners, you know, so it's still holding together quite nicely. It's just made out of real wood. So we're going to try to keep it that way so that once all that glue dries, you won't even know it's there, but it'll definitely help extend the lifespan of this plinth for sure. And then I've been working on trying to bring back the natural grain to the wood. I've been soaking the hell out of it with orange oil. Today I did a light sanding and another soaking, and then like I said, I've re-glued all the joints and whatnot, and then I'm going to give it one more soaking probably before it's all said and done. I'm hoping to get the top plate back on this probably in the next day or two here and start doing a little bit of reassembly at least. But I just want to get that top plate to where I'm just really, I want it to look like it's a million miles deep. So that's why the delay on that. But anyway, I'm still working on paint on that. So once I'm ready to move along, we'll get another video going. So I'm out. See you kids later. All right. Okay, kids. Yeah, I'm back. Working on the AR turntable tone arm today. Had the tone arm wire came in over the weekend. Did some computer jobs I had to do this morning, and so I'm working on the tone arm. I got the new wiring. I got that soldered to the head shell connector at the end of the tone arm. Got it twisted and ran down the tone arm. Right now I've got a little bit of glue holding that into the bottom of the head shell. Not the head shell, but I mean the pivot point. Other end from the head shell. You got to kind of glue the wire in there. I ran a brand new ground wire out of there as well. I've got the main wire twisted. Once all that glue sets that I put in there, I'm going to twist that ground wire as well. I'll finish putting the stand back together and whatnot. At that point, I'm going to get the cartridge in, but I'm going to leave the stylus off. I know that's a good stylus. I don't want to get it damaged in the process of finishing this thing up. So yeah, I'll get that wiring finished up. I'll get the tone arm mounted, and then I've got to work on the electronics from the bottom. All I've done so far, I lubed that motor. I tested the caps. The caps are bad. I've lubed the, let's see, I've lubed the factory power switch that's setting in there. I don't know. Owner said it was bad. I haven't tested it with the meter yet. I did just go ahead and clean it with CRC and whatnot so that I know it's already been cleaned and whatnot. But I'll tackle all that when I get to it. Right now I want to finish up the top. That way I can flip this thing upside down, and then I'll work on the electronics in the bottom and I'll get it finished up. But yeah, I just wanted to show everybody this before I finish this completely and get it mounted in there. Like I said, this is going to be a hell of an upgrade over the factory wiring in these, which is just so damn small. I mean, it's like the size of a human hair. So this is going to be a hell of an upgrade as far as the wiring there. And then surprisingly enough, the wiring on the electronics on the bottom aren't bad. That's relatively good gauge wire. So, but yeah, that's all going to get rewired anyway. But yeah, I don't know why. And I was reading on the internet that these things are famous for tone arm wiring disintegration. Like I said, it's basically just like human hairs in there. I mean, come on, all tone arm wiring is small. We all know that. But this one was about the smallest I've seen. So yeah, this is going to be a good upgrade for this tone arm system. So yeah, I'll buzz back in on the next part of the video, and I'm getting ready to actually get this tone arm installed and whatnot. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show everybody this before I just finish buttoning this thing up. Like I said, all fresh new wiring, complete upgrade. This tone arm has just been completely redone. I polished the bearing, the whole 9 yards. So yeah, once that's all good to go, like I said, I'll get that cartridge mounted in the head shell. I'm hoping. The little mounting clip off the factory cartridge broke, so I have this cartridge and stylus setting here. I've been waiting to make sure that it's going to fit in that head shell, and I think it will. I'm not thinking I'm going to run into a whole lot of problems on that, but yeah, that'll be the next step on this. So anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Morning, kids. I've got the AR turntable that I've been working on here this morning, flipped upside down. I did get the little bridge thing where the wires from the head shell are going to wire to that, and then the new incoming audio cables That's the original one. I took it off, saved it, relocated it, turned it a different direction to make it a lot easier to wire that thing back up. I did talk to the owner last night. We did decide he doesn't care about the voltage selector. It's never going to be used on 230 volts. He doesn't plan on selling it. It's not going overseas. This thing has sentimental value. It belonged to his father who has passed. So that's going to simplify this drastically and lessen the expense. I don't have to order as many capacitors. I got to order the main run capacitor and a new little snubber capacitor for the power switch down here, which I've got to finish. I've got to get another nut on that. I just kind of got that stuck in. I was kind of in the process of trying to get that finished. So yeah, that's just kind of where we're at this morning. I'm going to get the power cord and audio cables and the tone arm wiring finished up today. That's kind of the plan, so that this is basically done. I got to order those couple of capacitors and this thing's good to go. So yeah, we're almost done. Oh, with the exception of, I did find out, I tested the factory power switch. The owner thought it was bad and replaced it with a different switch, which went in this big hole. So this over here is the actual power switch, which is a slide switch. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to get a nice jewel light, and I'm going to mount that jewel light in that hole. That way there's a power indicator. When you turn on the power with the switch over there, the light over there is going to light up. That's the plan. That'll make good use of that hole, and like I said, it'll give you a visual power indicator. So that's the plan. That's where we're at, and the thing is coming along nicely. Like I said, I'll get that little bit of work finished up today, order those 2 capacitors that I need, and then this project will be a wrap here shortly. So anyway, folks, I'm out. I'll make one more final video on this once I get the rest of the parts that I need. But yeah, it's turned out pretty nice. I think the owner is going to be super happy with this. So anyway, that's where we're at for now. I'll be back on the next video.